initially you brought Christians to the country and not letting know the regime that you were praying for the country.
Well, actually, I was, this time was the first time they opened up the border to a place called Rasan, the city of Rasan. This city was open to foreigners to come and invest or help with many humanitarian projects. So it was so that it was known. They have known that almost everybody was coming in. There are Christians. There could be missionary. They're coming in to help the North Korean people. For that time, this was back in 2012 that I was detained, but I was starting to bring people in from 2011. When I went in for first time 2010, and they were beginning to open up the border for Western tourists. Until then, it was only possible to bring Chinese or Russian tourists at the time. So they are opening the border. So I told them that everybody that I'll be bringing, most likely they'll be Christian, but that was okay with them as long as we keep the prayer and worship among ourselves. And they said it's fine to bring Christians to country. And so I knew that they knew that we're Christian, they're coming in. But, obviously, when they discovered the hard drive, they wanted to find an excuse to detain me. And they said, it is actually, it's not a crime to bring people to come to North Korea, but it's a crime. You made a crime to overthrow the government of North Korea, trying to overthrow the government of North Korea. And I told them, what do you mean I was trying to overthrow the government of North Korea and how? And this is what they said, through prayer and worship. And I say, if you don't believe in God, why do you believe in prayer? And I told them that, there's no, I don't understand. You may have more faith than most of Christians do, because Christians don't pray. They believing that North Korea will collapse or we will be able to reach them through gospel. But apparently I brought 300 intercessors, the people who pray over 17 different countries, to enter into the country over 1 year period of time. And they walk around praying and worship. They accused me that I was trying to overthrow the government through prayer and worship. And this is what they said: if one person become Christian and 10 will become Christian, 10 will become 100, 100 will become 10,000 some days. When that happens, do you think they're going to be threat to us or not? And I said, maybe it's possible. And see, what you tried to do was you're trying to inject us with Christian virus, and this virus will spread. Everybody will turn to God, and they will not believe in their government and their leader anymore. They'll abandon their Juche ideology, and then this country will become a God's country. So when that happened, when he said that, I felt like it was, God himself spoke to me that yes, one person can make a difference. Prayer can make a difference. Regardless, I was charged to try to overthrow the government of North Korea. I received 15 years of hard labor sentence. I was the first American. It was sent to prison in North Korea since Korean War.
Yeah, I remember that. I think so. One thing that I learned from your book is that you talk about how North Korea used to be before Kim's. That was like almost like the east of Jerusalem. There was a huge revival of Christianity in Pyongyang, especially, and with the current North Korea that you experienced, I really cracked me up when the point somebody from Pyongyang asked you, like, I heard about God, but where's this guy called Jesus? Does he live in North Korea or China? Right, like that really cracked me up. And that also still shows how North Koreans has been completely, hidden from this information, that they don't even know the name Jesus Christ.
See, North Korea, especially Pyongyang, the capital of North Korea, right now, it used to be called the Jerusalem of the Far East. There are more Christians living in that city. The largest church was in Asia was in Pyongyang, about 100 years ago. And also there were seminary. They are large, the Christians and missionaries missionary population, than in Pyongyang at the time. But now become desolate place. Ever since 1960, when Juche ideology came in, they not only close all the churches, they actually eliminate Christianity, and then also eliminate the name Jesus. So when I was questioned by National Security Bureau agent, and then he was born in Pyongyang, he went to college in Pyongyang, and he said, I never heard the name Jesus before. Tell me whether he lives in Korea or China. I thought I was kidding. But that even though he was National Security Bureau agent, but he said he never heard the name Jesus. This is what it's like to living in North Korea. 25 million people lives in North Korea. 3 million people live in Pyongyang, and then name of Jesus being erased. So of course there are hidden Christians, and there may be the people who left North Korea, got captured from China to went back, and they found Jesus when they were in China. But the name Jesus is not something you will find in any books or any movies or any common knowledge. This is something that people are afraid to talk about. So therefore, most of people, especially people under 50, never heard the name Jesus or anything about God until they actually escaped from North Korea. Yeah. Was that the case for you, Yeonmi?
Yeah,
Was it the same case?
Absolutely. I did not even know the name of God in my life. And we know something like there's difference between Hananim and Hanunim. We knew the word Hananim, but we did not know the word God in North Korea. And in my time, it was very common for people to be executed if they ever read the Bible. And this is where something you can explain to us that in your book, actually North Korean officials officially, openly telling you that they are actually not afraid from the nuclear invasion from the US. What they're more afraid is a gospel. They are afraid of Christianity more than anything in this world. And why do you think it is that? Why are they so afraid of this words of God?
See, Kim Il-sung's grandfather was an elder at the church. His mother was a very devoted Christian, and then his uncle used to be the pastor. So he grew up seeing Christian. He grew up in a Christian home, and he attended a church when he was little. Even though he said his parents make him to go to church, I guess, but in a way that he knew what it's like to live as Christians and a Christian family, I guess. And then, so when we look at their system, they copy a lot of things from the Christianity. Instead of trinities, they have father Kim Il-sung, son Kim Jong-il, and the mother, the Korean Labor parties. So therefore, the trinity is there, and also there's the 10 Commandments. It was almost exactly the same as their own party, that the special rule for 10 of the rule that they come up with. So therefore, North Korea, they're afraid that the Christianity, this is what they told me, that that we are not afraid of nuclear weapon of America, because America will never attack us first unless we attack them. But they say, but we are afraid that someone like you as a missionary coming in and infecting the lies to our country, and everybody will fall, and our country will fall, and then everybody will turn to God. And therefore, no longer will be able to worship our own God, which is Kim Il-sung. And then, because that means then they'll be worshiping other gods. So if you become Christian in North Korea, and then the 3 generations to be wiped out, they'll kill you, they'll kill your parents and kill your children. And because they see it as political crime by accepting someone else as the father, other than worshiping Kim Il-sung. So therefore, Christianity is what they see is a directly threat